Hey Stitchers, what's goody? Welcome into the channel if this is the first time that you're finding one of my videos. And if you happen to be an OG, then girl, welcome back. For today's video, we're going to be talking about the Sew Phoenix Challenge. It is a sewing challenge being hosted over on Instagram by three amazing ladies. We've got Sam from Sew Let's Sparkle with Sam. There's Rachel from The French Seams. And then there's Catherine from... I can't remember her handle out of the top of my head. It's Sew something makery, I think. Anyway, I'll go ahead and pop them here on the screen. And I was really excited when I saw them launch this challenge. Now, the whole purpose of the Sew Phoenix Challenge is to find a sewing make from the past that needs a glow up. Maybe we didn't get the fitting right. Maybe we didn't use the right fabric. Maybe we did not have the sewing skills, the techniques, the construction methods back then, and we want to improve upon that make. And I thought, yes, there are quite a few makes in my sewing history that I could think about that needed a glow up, and I'm hoping this September to get at least one of them done. Now, I do have to travel for work, which is going to cut into my sewing time for September. I also have a collaboration that I need to do. And I have a big sewing project that I need to get done as well, but I'll tell you more about that one when I share with you guys my Sew Precious Fabrics challenge make on, I think, the 16th of September. So if you happen to be watching this video after the 16th of September, then girl, hit rewind and go and check out that video. If this video by chance goes live before the 16th of September, then now will be a great time to go ahead and subscribe, turn your notifications on, and that means whenever that video drops, and any video for that matter of fact, you will be the first to know. Now, for the month of September, I am also running a sewing challenge over on Instagram. Well, it's not really a sewing challenge. It's like a sewing adjacent challenge because we're not required to sew anything new throughout the month of September. What we're doing, or what I'm encouraging others to do to join me, is to take a look at our sewing journeys. I have shared 30 prompts and I am looking through my sewing gallery over the years and trying to find a make that I think fits nicely with the prompt. Now, the prompts are very open to interpretation, and so far I have been having a ball looking at the way other sewists have been interpreting the prompts. And one of those prompts was first bite of the cherry. And for me, that took me way back, like way back into the early days of my sewing journey. Now, I didn't in fact share my first make, which happened to have been really good, all things considering. I shared one of my very first Big 5 pattern makes. It was the first one that I could find in my phone gallery. And when I looked at it, you guys, I was like, oh my goodness, this could never be me. Not now, not in present Kris state. I could have seen so many things wrong with that make, but you bet your bottom dollar when I made it way back when, I think it might have been like 2019, your girl was feeling herself. I was super proud that I was sewing my own clothes. Little did I know, or little did I appreciate, that fitting makes a big difference. And if you have been here for any time at all, then you kind of know that I'm kind of like very anal when it comes to fit. No, let me put my hands up and say I don't always get it right, but I really do make the effort. And I'm hoping that I can bring all of these new fitting skills and the construction as well to this revised make. So what pattern are we even talking about? We are going to be remaking McCall's 7950. Let me just scooch over and grab the pattern envelope. It's this one, you guys. No, I happen to have this one in the print. Way back then, there were no PDF Big 5 patterns. And so I had to go over and beyond to get my hands on the printed envelopes. So this is McCall's 7950. And you might notice I have two envelopes in my hand. Now, the way I store my patterns, or at least I did, I would take the tissue paper out of the white envelope and put the tissue paper in like a brown manila folder. And then what remained in the envelope were the pattern instructions, and then this envelope went into a binder, and it meant that I could pull up a binder that had been sorted by the different garment types, flip through it like a catalog, and find the pattern that I wanted to sew up. I no longer do that just because I've gotten really lazy, but it really was a very efficient system. And it felt really cool to be able to sit down in front of my very own catalog of sewing patterns and decide what I wanted to sew up. So the version that I had made of McCall's 7950 was version D. I did the one with the little tie straps, you guys, but looking back at the pictures, I could tell that the fabric was way too heavy for my dress. It looked kind of bulky at the waistline, and it didn't help that my bodice was too long as well. And guys, she was crying, bawling out, me tell you, for a full bust adjustment. I could see the tension right at the bust line when I look at the pictures, but I guess if you're not really so much into fit, or if you don't sew at all, you probably might not even notice, but I do. And so I can already think of some of the fitting adjustments that I'm going to need to do to this pattern. I'm definitely going to need to go in and shorten the waist. I'm probably going to need to do a sway back adjustment as well. I am definitely needing to do a full bust adjustment, and this one is going to be pretty easy because this bodice has princess seams. Now, if you have no idea whatsoever on how to do a full bust adjustment on a princess seam bodice, I have shared it here on the channel recently enough earlier this year. I was working on the Mimi G Jessica dress, and I demonstrated how to do a full bust adjustment on a princess seam bodice. So I think I'll go ahead and pop it in here just in case you need a little bit of hand holding or encouragement to go ahead and try out an FBA on a princess seam bodice. Now, additionally, there are tons of other fitting tutorials here on the channel. I'll make sure that the playlist pops up at the end of this video. So if you are intrigued, you want to get a little bit better, you want an idea of what fitting adjustments you might need to do, signals that these adjustments might be appropriate for you, then make sure you check out that playlist as well. Now, aside from that, what else might I need to do to this pattern? I'm probably going to need to lower the apex as well after I do the full bust adjustment. And the straps were a little bit too far or too far out towards the arm side. I'm going to need to bring them a little bit more center front so that they don't flop off the shoulder as readily. Now, when it comes to the fabrics in my stash, I have been thinking, what fabrics do I have that might do this pattern justice? And so I pulled out 4 fabrics to share with you guys today. And I'll ask you, let me ask you right now to drop me a comment down below and let me know which fabric would you choose to make up this dress. Now, before I show you guys, let me just have a look at the fabric recommendations. I often ignore the fabric recommendations. I feel like I am fairly comfortable with sewing now that I can have a look at the line drawings and get an idea of which fabrics in my stash might work nicely for said pattern, but let's try to do it the right way for the purpose of today's video. So the suggested fabrics are cotton blends, gingham, poplin, linen, and scalloped border prints. Now, I think at least two of the fabrics that I pulled are gingham fabrics. One of them is an Ankara, which is a cotton blend. And the last one, I think, is a viscose rayon, which is not a suggested fabric, but from past makes of similar types of dresses, like the Mimi G Jessica dress, I think that a rayon fabric will be perfectly fine in this dress. It will not hold the structure as much, especially so far as the skirt is concerned, but I still think it will make for a cute summer dress. So let me grab the fabrics and show you, and then we can have a discussion about which one you guys think will work best for this challenge. So the first fabric I want to share with you guys, you have seen it before if you are a unsocial veteran. It is this fabric right here. This one is a floral fabric. It is a rayon viscose fabric, and I think she is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, she is nice and drapey, but she still feels kind of beefy. It's not one of those rayon fabrics that's light and super, super slippery. This one is quite beefy when I feel it, and I just feel like this will make for a gorgeous dress using that pattern. Now, I did say that this fabric might look familiar, and that is because this fabric is on my fabric roulette wheel. I popped off 2025 working on fabric roulette, and the idea behind that challenge was to pick 12 fabrics that had been sitting in my stash, put them on a wheel, spin the wheel every month, and choose a fabric, whatever fabric the wheel chose, pick a pattern that went with the fabric and sew it up. Now, I started off that challenge with a bang, you guys, but then I left and went on holiday in April into May, came back home, and the challenge never saw the light of day again. So those fabrics have been cooling out in my stash, and when I saw the line drawings for this pattern, I was like, but this one will be really, really nice. So I went ahead and pulled it. Now, I can't say whether or not I will resume fabric roulette for the rest of the year. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I will roll it over into next year. But in the meantime, there's no harm, I think, in using up some of the fabrics on my wheel, because if I do decide to continue the challenge, I've got more fabric. I can just add them to the wheel, right? So what do you guys think of fabric number one, this rayon viscose in this really, really bright floral print fabric? Let's talk about it. Now, the next fabric that I wanted to share with you guys is this one. This one is an Ankara fabric. This one is a lot more stable than the last one. It doesn't really have much drape, so it's going to hold the shape of that skirt quite nicely. I do like that it is black and blue. I do like black. I do like blue. I don't think I have anything in my wardrobe that is black and blue, but I do like this Ankara print. The question is, will I have enough of this print in order to make up this pattern? Now, as you can see, I can hold the fabric right in the camera frame, and that is because it is only 44 inches wide. The last fabric I think I showed you was probably about the 60-inch width, but this one is significantly narrower. Will I have enough width of this fabric in order to cut out the skirt piece if I decide to use it? It might mean that I can turn my fabric on the crosswise grain and use that to cut out my skirt, which isn't really a big deal in my opinion when it comes to Ankara, because it's pretty stable on the cross grain such as on the grain line. There's no difference in my view when I pull my fabric. Maybe there is a slight give, I don't know, but not enough to impact the shape or fit of this skirt. So fabric number two is an Ankara. Drop me a comment down below and let me know whether you are team Ankara for this dress. Now, fabric number three is the first of two gingham fabrics, and this one is in this gorgeous green and white colorway. I have, over the last, let's say 3 or 4 years, developed an affinity, as it were, to the color green. I really, really, really like green. And before that, I hated green. I didn't have anything in my closet that was green. If I did, it would have been something that was gifted to me, and it probably wasn't getting a lot of wear anyway. But then I had my colors done. I paid to have them done with my own coin, and I discovered that I am a twilight winter. And when I got my color card, there was a shamrock green on my color card, and I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. That and a couple other colors. But I figured since I had spent all of this coin on getting my colors professionally done, I might as well try to embrace the colors that were on my color card. And so I remember going out and buying myself some shamrock green double gauze. I bought it actually in Barbados on a trip. And you guys, I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. And there is no time that I wear that dress that I don't get a compliment or two. And I'm not even exaggerating, you guys. It is gorgeous. Most of the times people are commenting on the color of the dress as opposed to the dress itself. But that don't give me no shade, you guys. I know it's a dope dress. It was McCall 7543 that I hacked for my first season of Pattern Hackathon. Let me just put a picture in right here so you guys can be the judge and hopefully confirm that it is amazing color on my skin. Now, all that to say, I went ahead and got my hands on this green and white gingham fabric. Now, she does have a little bit of give along the cross grain. You can see that she pulls just a little bit. And my girl Diana actually picked up this fabric on my behalf. She was out fabric shopping one day and she called me and I was like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want that. We'll deal with the money after. And she's like, no probs, boo, I got you. And so she picked me up this fabric and I love it. But since I got it, I think I got it like in January this year. I haven't used it, and now just might be the right time to use it for this pattern. The only thing that I'm thinking about when it comes to gingham is the pattern matching. It will drive me absolutely batshit crazy if at least my center front is not pattern matched. Now I know the princess seam lines will not be pattern matched because The nature of a princess seam requires you to ease one piece into another piece. And so therefore, it's just very, very unlikely that I'll be able to establish a match through the princess seam. But at least down the center front where the buttons will go, I feel like, you guys, I feel like I need to have a pattern match. If my squares are like half up, half down, I won't wear the dress. I probably won't wear the dress. So I'm really going to have to take some time to try and pattern match if I use this fabric. Question is, do I have the time that it will take me to be very precise when making this dress? That is the question. But again, this is a green and white gingham fabric. It is a cotton of some sort, I think, but she does have a slight give across the cross grain. So yeah, it's nice. It'll be cute as a dress, right? Let's see. All right, last one. So the last fabric I want to share was also bought by my girl Diana. Same time, same place. And it is another gingham print. But this one, you guys, isn't it gorgeous? I love this one. I love the pinks and the purple. I do quite like pinks and purples. In fact, purple is my favorite color, but I don't have a lot of purple in my wardrobe. I don't even understand why. Is it that I'm not coming across purple fabrics? I don't know, you guys. But I really did like this fabric. It is, again, another, is this a gingham? This is a gingham. It is a gingham. And this one is, I'm not even sure what it is. It almost feels like maybe a linen, possibly. You can see that she frays just by looking at the cut edge. Once again, if I make up this pattern using this fabric, I am going to need to take the time to do some pattern matching. But I really, really, really do like this one. What do you guys think? Isn't she beautiful? And I do have quite a bit of yardage of this one. I probably have maybe like 3 yards, 2.5 or 3 yards. And I'm pretty sure that that will be enough for me to squeeze out this dress. Even if it means that I end up lining the inside of the dress using a completely different fabric, that is neither here nor there to me. But in terms of the outer fabric, I should have enough of that fabric to squeeze out McCall's 7950. So guys, those are my plans. Well, that is my plan. McCall's 7950 and one of these fabrics. So help a girl out. Drop me a comment down below and let me know which fabric do you think I should use for my Sew Phoenix September Sewing Challenge make. Let me know as well whether you guys are participating in this sewing challenge. I really think it's a great challenge. I love looking back and seeing how far I have come, measuring myself against myself. Instead of comparing myself to other people, it's me against me. You understand? So that makes this challenge even more awesome in my opinion, because we're looking back at what we have done and seeing how far we have come. So if you have not heard of the challenge, if you had not considered participating in the challenge, then let me just go ahead and encourage you to go ahead and check it out. I shall drop the handles in the description box. I think at least 2, if not all of these ladies have YouTube channels. I watch Rachel from the French Seams. I have seen Sam, so, oh, they do, because I have recently watched a video from Catherine here on the channel. So yes, they all have YouTube channels and all have Instagram accounts. So I'll drop the handles down below so you can go ahead and check these lovely ladies out and get to participating in this challenge. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to go ahead and give your girl a thumbs up. And if you have made it this far in today's video and you're not a subscriber, what are you doing? Just go ahead and subscribe to this video. Not to this video, what am I talking about? Go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We talk all things sewing here. We talk about fabrics that we buy and don't use. You know, those pretty ones that we like to look at and go, ooh and ah. We talk about sewing challenges. I share with you guys some behind the scenes sewing stuff. I give you some frank pattern reviews. They don't always go in a favorable manner. And on the odd occasion, I do bring you some sewing tea from the sewing community. So if any of those things sound like you, then you fit in quite nicely right here with me on my YouTube sewing channel. Now, you guys, that is everything I needed to talk to you about today. I really do need to go ahead and get the ball rolling on some of the projects I have for September. I'll give you guys a couple days to get back to me about the fabric choice, and then hopefully I will be able to get this dress sewn up, photographed, and recorded before the end of September. So wish your girl some luck. Until next time, stay calm, stay cool, stay safe, and go check out this challenge, because why not?